Okay, so it's two things I wanted to talk about today. One thing I want to say is that I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't owe them nothing, okay? I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. You don't owe them nothing, okay? As I navigate the landscape of being an independent or recovering independent person, and I talk to friends and family about what keeps people from asking for help, a recurring thing keeps coming up. And I would admit that this is something that I don't recollect ever being an issue for me. Like, I've been blessed to not have this challenge, but it's come up enough that I feel moved to talk about it. And that is feeling like you owe somebody something when somebody does something for you. Like, it's a tit for tat exchange that if you ask somebody for help, then you're automatically obligated to help them back at a later date. And I'm here to free you from that thought. Like, there are people out there that will do things just for the sake of the goodness of their heart. There are people out there that just want to see you succeed. There are people out there that just want to help you prosper and live your best life. I think sometimes the real issue is that we believe that we don't deserve that somebody will just take care of us for who we are with no strings attached. I know there's a very real thing out there where there are people who are expecting things in return, but that's their expectation, right? Unless there is a formal agreement that you do something for me, therefore I will do something for you, I don't accept nobody else's expectations. And that's just a word for your life. Like, you live your life under your own expectations. And if there's people out here doing things for you, expecting things in return, that don't mean you necessarily have to do it. If you want to do something for somebody in return, that's your business. But don't accept somebody's expectation, and don't be out here not asking for what you need because you're afraid of somebody's expectation on you. You are limiting yourself from a whole world of a life where you're getting the help that you need, and you're closing yourself off to people who really want to help you because you're afraid that you're going to be obligated to them. Listen, believe in your heart that somebody just wants to do the best for you. There are going to be people out there that are going to be expecting things in return. Again, I have been fortunate enough that this has not happened to me very often in life, but when it has come up, I will very much real deal say, look, my family in the background, y'all. Yeah, so when it has come up in the past, when it comes up where somebody will put that expectation on me, I would just not accept it. Like, if somebody asks me for something and I'm just like, no, I'm good. I can't do that for you. I won't do that for you. I don't want to do that for you. And they start rattling off the things that they have done for me, and as the defense of why I should do it for them, that just tells me in my mind that, one, this person is not looking out for the best interest of me. They're just doing shit so I do things in return for them. And two, I need to minimize the amount of time that I spend with them. So just find people out there that just want to see you win, okay? And this is the quick and surefire way to see if these people want to see you win. Ask them for help. And if they have an obligation for you to help them back in the future, like an obligation and an expectation, right? don't get me wrong, like if somebody does something for me and I want to and I desire to help them, and I probably will desire to help them, but that's because I desire, not because I feel obligated to help them. So saying all that to say, I just want to free people today. I want to free you from the thought that you can't ask for help. You can. And if somebody puts that expectation on them, reject that shit. You are not required to do what somebody else asks you to do, period. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So the second thing I really been thinking about for a little minute now is more on a social aspect in society. It is really my belief that Black people have a codependent relationship with white America. And my thought is that we continue to put ourselves as less than. So what I'm trying to say is we are not less than. And I think this sounds very basic of a concept, but I think it's worth saying because it's ingrained in everything that we do. We show up as we are less than. Let me give you an example. So I love watching documentaries. I was about to watch this documentary about Fat Tuesdays. I guess it was a Black night that was created at this comedy club called Comedy Store I think it's in California. I only got about 5-10 minutes into the documentary before I was hit with this underlying thing of Black people are less than and our establishments are less than. So they was giving a background for like how Black Fat Tuesday got started. Guy Tory was talking about how he started in it, and various people were being interviewed, and things came up like, Hollywood wouldn't come to the hood, so the hood went to Hollywood, and because it was the Comedy Store, it put a special value on it. And for me, all I really heard was that we didn't feel like our establishments in our location were good enough. We couldn't get the connections necessary in order to excel in the comedic arena. That's what I kept hearing. And for me, I'm tired of hearing that shit. I'm tired of hearing that we have to get out of the hood or go into a white establishment in order to be successful. That's the rhetoric that we continue to say over and over again, and it's trash. I really believe that we need to start to change the conversation in thinking that we are equals. We're different, but equal. And not that we necessarily have to be separate, but let's challenge the thought that the Hollywood wouldn't come to the hood. I really believe that is something we need to stop saying. Like, if the quality and the Black excellence is there, they will come. If you make it, they will come. And so I feel like I am tired of us continuing to show up like we are less than, like our establishments, our things aren't good until white people put their stamp of approval on it. That's the real way that we have to stop racial inequality. Stop thinking of ourselves as less than until somebody gives us approval. There is this experiment that this lady, Jane Elliott, did back in the day, where she divided her kids into blue-eyed kids and brown-eyed kids. And then one day she told the blue-eyed kids they were less than. And then after a certain amount of time, she switched around and said the brown-eyed kids were less than. Long story short, what she found was that it was a lot of the things that happened in racial and racism in America happened in this small experiment in her classroom. Like, the people that were told that they were better than started treating the people that were less than like shit. The people that were told that they were less than start showing up as less than. They were performing poorly. They felt less confident about themselves. Long story short, great experiment. But as I watched that thing, the thing that came up to my mind was like, if they would have never believed what she said, that they were less than and other people were greater than, then it wouldn't have even worked. The experiment would have never worked. I'm sorry, y'all, my child is screaming, but her daddy in there with her, so she'll be all right. She probably tired. She be crying a lot. So I started to think about that in the bigger context in our America, is that let's stop believing that we are less than. Like, it is such an undertone in everything that we say and we do, and I don't think we even realize it. But the more I pay attention, I'm like, we continue to reiterate that we are less than. When we talk about getting out of the hood, we're saying what we have is not good enough. But again, no, let's stay in the hood, let's build our community instead of trying to go out to be better. What we have is already great. We just have to put in what it needs to be put in to make it better. So, I don't know. I hope I made my point. But this I'm gonna be talking about this a lot. I will give you plenty more examples as time go on, because it comes up all the time, and I think it's a conversation that needs to change in our community. Like, let's stop acting like the goal is to be like white people or be accepted in white people's establishment. Again, there's nothing wrong with white people, but there's literally nothing wrong with us either. And so the less we continue to have the conversations around how do we get up out of the hood and how do we have upward mobility, and upward mobility equals us being accepted in other establishments, like white establishments. That's the whole scenario that went on with Deion Sanders going from Jackson State to the Colorado, I don't know the name of the school, some PWI. It's just like, I've seen all this rhetoric going back and forth between people on comments about, like, isn't it better for him to go and where he can make more money? Well, I don't know. Deion ain't hurting for no money. So sometimes we have to stop thinking about, like, just money is the best thing. If he goes there, which I highly doubt that Deion Sanders will have a problem, because he's very much of an advocate for himself. But in the greater context of Black America, or even in my experience, I went to a predominantly white institution. My whole entire career worked at a big major accounting firms where most of the employees and the clientele were white. And I saw this level of feeling like less than on a personal level, because you look around and nothing looks like you. You look around and you have to change who you are in order to fit in. And so what I'm saying is, instead of us feeling like the goal is to go somewhere where nothing about us is important or accepted, and they have to create initiatives in order to accept us, let's just invest in our own selves. Make sure that our people and our businesses and our establishments have our quality people there. And then from there, learn how to promote and market to others, whites, whatever, and bring their dollars back to us instead of us trying to go to their establishment to get their dollars. That's the thing that I really want to say. Instead of creating Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store, there could have been a Fat Tuesdays club in the hood that was so well run, so packed with such great talent that it would bring Hollywood to the hood. Have them spending their dollars in the neighborhood so that the neighborhood can be, better run and taken care of, and all the things that comes with having more money into a neighborhood. So y'all know what I'm trying to say. Same thing, Deion Sanders, what he did was the blueprint when he was at Jackson State. He did a lot of bringing his connections from white institutions, sponsorships, and things like that to make the organization better. That is the blueprint of what we should be doing. So instead of getting lost in like Deion went somewhere else, let's use the blueprint that he laid out and do that everywhere, so that when somebody of his caliber leaves, it's not bad because the next one gonna come. Let's start appreciating our culture and our establishments. And I know, let me hasten to say that the money is not there. But I think we have to have some patience when it comes to financial realms, because sometimes it's not that we be trying to get money so because we don't have it. It's this obsession with having more and having more and having more without having a purpose or values. And so something that comes along with reinvesting into your community and staying into your community and building it up is that it provides purpose and lets you live out your values through doing that while making money. Maybe a little less money in the short run, but your goal is to bring the money to here, not chase their money. So again, things like this come up all the time. I will continue to have this conversation, but I just wanted to put it out there and lay the foundation of what I have been thinking about for several years now about how do we build up the Black community and build up Black economics. I think we got it all wrong. Like, the whole conversation that we have on a regular basis is not what it is. All right? So anyways, I will try to, I ain't gonna say try, I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna think of another topic and I'll bring it up tomorrow, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.